Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. We are back in the garage. I've got another project. We're sitting at the workbench today. Looks like the subwoofer. So the subwoofer in Ari, the 2000 Toyota Aristo, the subwoofer on the rear deck, I wasn't getting any bass. Went through the settings and so forth, and I just wasn't getting any bass. So I went into the trunk and looked, and you can actually see from the trunk, you can actually see up into this area. The entire cone is gone. Like, I don't even understand how when a speaker blows, like the whole cone is gone. Normally, you have like on this speaker where the surround is blown, but for the entire cone to just be missing blows my mind. Again, the car is 25 years old, so, you know, maybe that's got something to do with it. But anyway, I was able to get this broken speaker from Japan. Hard to find the factory speaker, but I'd prefer to stick with everything being factory. So I was able to find this in Japan, got it shipped over. Then I ordered a repair kit from Simply Speakers. So this is going to be a 10-inch speaker repair kit, and it comes with everything that you need. You've got glue, the new foam surround, and we're gonna walk through the process of how to replace the foam surround. So let's get into it. So as I said, guys, we're using the Simply Speakers kit. Comes with everything that you need here: glue, application brush, and this is the new foam surround. And I'll have a link down in the description for the kit that I used. But pretty straightforward. What we're gonna do is you're gonna get the speaker, and the key is we've got to clean. I mean, I don't know how well you can see this, but you can see the foam is literally just coming off. So we're gonna use a blade. We're gonna scrape all of this stuff off, get this nice and clean, and then work on applying some new glue. All right. So as I said, we are going to use a blade to get this clean. You want to be real easy with this. Doesn't take a lot of pressure. You don't want to cut the actual cardboard. You just kind of keep scraping at it, it'll get deeper and more of the foam off. So kind of a first pass gets all of the main, and then if you just keep scraping at it, you'll get more and more layers off. You want to get as much of this off as you can so that there's no residue left, because if this is loose, then the surround is just going to end up coming loose. And we want this to be as long lasting a repair as we can get. All right, now that we've got the cone pretty well cleaned up, let's go ahead and get this area done as well. Simple blade. All right, got that all cleaned off. Just to make sure that we've got this nice and dirt free again, I'm gonna use some nail polish remover, some acetone, and just make sure, again, this is nice and clean, free of debris, any old residue, because again, we want this to stick and last, actually. Still had some residue there. Let's get that all off. All right. What you're also going to want to do before you get started gluing anything is you want to test fit the surround. So one, you can see that this fits all real well, but I don't know if you guys can see it in the camera. There's a little bit of a gap here, because what we're going to do is we're going to glue this to the cone first. But since there's a gap, what we're going to do is we're going to put some towels under here to lift the cone. This way the glue, sticks. You don't have it trying to separate. So let's grab some microfibers. I've got a pile of microfibers here, and we're gonna try to evenly stuff these under the speaker. I don't really know exactly how I'm gonna go about doing that. You wanna be careful not to damage the cone by putting a lot of pressure under there. So we will just put that in to each side there, and then let's test fit this again and see how that feels. I'm gonna get a little more on each side. Let's see how that feels. There we go. All right, so we've pretty much got it raised off of all sides. You can actually see the speakers, the new foam surround is barely touching the frame. So, all right, now let's get this off and apply some glue. We've got the surround. What we're gonna do is to apply the glue. This is how it's installing. But to apply the adhesive, the cement, we're gonna put it on upside down, and we're gonna be able to rotate it. So we're gonna practice this on a card, because you want to take a look and see how this stuff comes out. We want to get used to it. We want to know so that we can lay a nice fine bead at how it comes out. So I don't know if you guys can see that, but that cement is actually pretty thick. So laying down that bead, there it is. And maybe I need to mix it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna close this up. All right, so I've laid the surround down, upside down, because we're gonna apply the cement here. And we are going to give a little practice bead just so that we can see how this stuff flows. So it's quite thin, and we're just gonna apply about an eighth of an inch bead. So those are some practice runs. let's go ahead and apply this here. This doesn't have to be perfect. I tend to be a bit of a perfectionist, but and we're going to spread it afterwards anyway here in a second. So there we go. We're going to throw the cap back on here. And then we are just going to use our finger. Even though it came with this brush, we're just going to use my finger and spread that around. Get a nice even coating. Before we flip this around. All right. So now we're going to take this, and you want to make sure you get this as centered as possible. You'll be able to move it just a little bit, but we want to make sure that we get it centered. And of course, this is wanting to tilt that way, so. So as we lay that on, you can use the old glue line as a reference, and we just want to get this set in. So just kind of start with pressing it around, getting contact, and then as it's on, you can actually run your finger along to get it to really set in. And again, this is a foam surround, so this does not need to be perfect. You know, you want it as centered as possible. But again, the foam, the whole point behind this foam is that it's giving flexibility to the cone as it's moving. So we just want to keep pressing this in so that we've got good contact of the cement. So this has an hour cure time, an hour dry time. So we are not going to glue the other side. We're going to give this time to dry. So I will be coming back to this tomorrow because it's already pretty late. But we just kind of want to keep working that in as that cement is starting to dry and tack up. Again, I don't know if you guys can pick it up on the camera, but you can still see it moving a little bit as I press it in. So that's it. So we will come back to this later, guys. All right, we're back at the bench. Inner cone has cured. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to take the microfiber out, and then we'll apply the glue in the same fashion that we did here. So we'll put down that bead and let it set. So carefully we're going to pull this out. All right. Now that we've got all of those out, one of the things that you want to do is we want to move this a little just to make sure that we've got the cone centered. And you can feel it. You'll actually feel the cone touching or the, I actually don't know the name of the internal components, but you can actually feel them touching when it's off center. So moving this around, there's no contact or anything. So let's go ahead and get the cement, and we'll apply that bead just to make sure we've got this flowing. I'm going to run some down the card again. And there we are. It's impossible for you guys to see this really, but I've got the nozzle right in between, just tucked underneath this lip, and I'm just applying nice, even pressure to get that bead laid. And I'm just checking on it because, for example, there I just got an air pocket. So, but just continue applying that all the way around. Kind of lift it and check, get any spots that I miss. And again, we're just gonna take a quick look around, make sure we've got that applied, don't have any gaps. And then we will, all right. And then we're just gonna firmly press that around, working our way all the way around. And you're gonna end up seeing a lot of this cement start to squeeze out, which again is fine. There's not really a need to spread it on this side like we did before I used my finger. Just working our way all the way around. And just apply firm pressure to get that to stick. Because you can kind of see it keeps lifting in some of these other areas, but as you get firm pressure, it'll stay down, especially as it becomes more tacky. And just keep working your way around. Make sure the speaker's still centered. And again, just nice, firm pressure all the way around. And as the cement really starts to bond to the foam, it'll prevent it from lifting like you kind of saw it doing. So, but we're just gonna keep working that around. And as you get it worked in, that's really all there is to it, guys. So, you know, a lot of people look at speakers and think they're trashed. Everybody was telling me that, you know, why don't you just upgrade? You know, but when you upgrade, I mean, look at this mount, right? Like this is not your typical round subwoofer. So this is a custom mount onto the rear deck in the Aristo, and it's going to be that way in most of your cars as far as a factory subwoofer goes. So instead of dealing with new custom mounts and everything else, I was able to pick up this kit, and I mean, I don't remember off the top of my head how much it cost, but I'm pretty sure it was under 40 bucks shipped, you know? And so, and this is going to be a great, I don't know about you guys, but this is a great factory option. No, I'm not an audiophile. You know, I don't need a phenomenal sound system, you know, that's high end and everything else. I mean, I've got a bunch of buddies that are audiophiles, and I am not that. So, factory system, again, this is an 8-speaker JBL system. I don't know about you guys, but most of my cars have 4 speakers at most. So going to an 8-speaker system is pretty stout of an upgrade for me. But anyway, yeah, it's really this simple, guys. So I love restoring things, fixing things. So many people these days, you know, something breaks and they just pull it out and replace it. The fact that, I mean, and I'm sitting here saying old on a 2000, it's 25 years ago, but these older vehicles, you can fix things. You don't have to just replace parts. You can actually fix parts when they go bad. So anyway, hopefully the next go around on this video will be removing the rear deck. I don't know if I'm going to make that a whole separate video. I might. Probably will. Depends on how much of this I can trim out. But as always, I appreciate you guys tuning into the channel. If you got any questions, you know, throw them down in the comments. I hope that you guys will hit subscribe. You know, again, one of the things and my goals with this channel is that we're doing a little bit of everything, you know, from full-on car mods and, you know, engine swaps to, you know, more maintenance type items and, you know, restoration stuff like this. So, anyway, again, appreciate you guys subscribing, appreciate you guys tuning in, and I'll see you next time.